So this is the second in our series on Advanced Find for Microsoft Dynamics for Sales. In this video, I'm going to show doing slightly more advanced queries where we start to incorporate OR statements with AND statements. So you can see other links to videos in the series below, or if you've got any suggested content ideas, or indeed you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, please see the links below. So in the first video, what we did was we created a basic query and then saved it as a personal view. So if I just click, there was a contact view and I'm in the contacts area. So if I just click on the down arrow by all contacts there, I can see that personal view, which I rather imaginatively called test 1. If I click on that, you can see what data was returned. And if I click on edit filters, I can see the view we constructed. And the scenario was we were running a seminar in Seattle and we wanted to invite people that were active. We hadn't deactivated them because they'd left, and they had an email address because we were going to do an email campaign. Now, let's say I wanted to extend that out and invite people in Redmond as well. So I might suppose the best way of doing that is to click add another row. We'll select city and then say the city equals Redmond. And if I click apply, or in other words, I run the query, what happens now is there's no data and it says we didn't find anything to show here. So something's wrong. So let's go to our edit filters. And if we think about it, it's kind of mutually exclusive. We can't have somebody with a single address that's simultaneously in Seattle and Redmond. So that doesn't work. So in order to run that query, we need to have an OR statement. Now, the way we can do that is to tick the box against those two fields, those two city fields. And then at the end of the row, I've got the ability to delete or make a group. At the end of that row, I've got the ability to delete or make a group. From either of them, select make a group, and it groups the two of them together. And then all you need to do is change that AND field to OR. So we've now created effectively a statement that says people living in Seattle or Redmond. If I apply, hopefully my list has gone up, which it has. It was originally 4 rows, 4 contacts. It's now 6. If we look, we can see we've added a couple there which have a Redmond address. So that's all worked well for us. Now if I go back to those filters, I kind of did that retrospectively, but I could have done the same thing from scratch as I was constructing the query initially. So let's show how we might do that. So I'm just going to click on that and just delete it all. And then, as if I'm starting from scratch, I'll go to add. Instead of adding a row, I'm just going to add a group. And then now I'll just select my city field equals Seattle. And I'll add another row. And let's say the city equals Redmond. And then we just need to remember to change that AND, which is the default, to an OR. And if we apply that now, we should achieve the same thing, all being well, which we do. So that has worked. Now if I go back to filters, I could extend these OR statements out. It isn't necessarily limited to 2 records. If I wanted to extend the invitation list out to Renton as well, I could do that. So it's now Seattle, Redmond, or Renton. Apply that, and we get 7 records back. So I can see that's worked. Now, just one more thing to say around use of OR statements. You don't always need OR statements, perhaps in circumstances you think you might, because where you've got pick list fields, you can accommodate multiple values from a pick list. So I'm working with quite a limited data set because this is the Microsoft Dynamics out-of-the-box demonstration data. Now, I think there is a field called preferred contact method. So if I click a row, and I'll type P to jump to the P's and spot, well, preferred method of contact. And then what I can do is I can select multiple values. So I could say it's phone. I could go back to the list and say it's mail. I could go back and say it's fax. I could select all of those values if I wanted to. So I don't have to run an OR statement for every pick this value I'm trying to accommodate. If I apply that now, that should have cut that list down a bit. And if I just quickly edit the columns and add that preferred method of contact to the list, just to verify that has worked. Yeah, so that's included preferred methods of mail and phone. So that query has worked without having to run a series of OR statements. Anyway, hopefully that's helped you start to accommodate OR statements into your advanced find queries. If you want to see other videos in the series, please see the links below. If you've got any suggestions for future content, or indeed you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, again, see the links below. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you again soon.